Did you know that just 18 grams of mushrooms per day, that's about 2 medium mushrooms, can reduce your cancer risk by up to 45%? And the best part? You can grow these superfoods right in your own home year-round, even if you live in a tiny apartment. Hey, green thumbs! Welcome back to the Greenest Thumb channel. I'm Roger, and if you're new here, this is where we turn everyday spaces into thriving food-producing gardens. Today, we're diving into one of my absolute favorite topics, growing mushrooms at home. This is going to be a comprehensive guide that covers everything from the easiest beginner varieties to the step-by-step process for growing gourmet shiitake mushrooms. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which mushrooms to start with, how long each variety takes to grow, the amazing health benefits you'll be getting, and I'll walk you through the complete process of growing shiitake mushrooms, including some insider tips that most tutorials leave out. So grab your notebook, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and let's get growing. Before we dive into the how-to, let's talk about why you should be growing mushrooms. These aren't just delicious additions to your meals. They're nutritional powerhouses that can seriously boost your health. First up, immune system support. Mushrooms like shiitake and oyster mushrooms are packed with beta-glucans, which are natural compounds that help your immune system function properly. A recent study found that people who ate shiitake mushrooms for just 4 weeks showed significant improvements in their immune cell function. Here's something incredible. Research from 17 different cancer studies spanning over 50 years found that eating just 18 grams of mushrooms daily can reduce cancer risk by up to 45%. That's because mushrooms are rich in ergothioneine, a powerful antioxidant that some researchers call the longevity nutrient. Mushrooms are also fantastic for heart health. Shiitake mushrooms contain 3 specific compounds that help lower cholesterol: aritadenine, sterols, and beta-glucans. Plus, they're naturally low in sodium, with an entire cup containing just 5 milligrams. And here's something fascinating. Studies show that eating 2 cups of mushrooms per week can cut your risk of cognitive impairment in half. The antioxidants and B vitamins in mushrooms support neurotransmitter function and brain health as we age. Finally, mushrooms are one of the few natural food sources of vitamin D. While the amount varies, some varieties can provide significant amounts of this crucial vitamin that most of us don't get enough of. Now that you're convinced about the health benefits, let's talk about which mushrooms you can actually grow at home year-round. I'm going to share my top picks for beginners, intermediate growers, and those ready for a challenge. First up, and my #1 recommendation for absolute beginners, oyster mushrooms. These are the golden retrievers of the mushroom world. Friendly, forgiving, and fast-growing. Oyster mushrooms are ready to harvest in just 7 to 14 days from a kit. They grow in temperatures from 50 to 86 degree Celsius, which means they'll thrive in most homes year-round. They'll grow on almost anything: coffee grounds, straw, cardboard, even old books. You can expect 3 to 4 flushes from a single growing block. Next level up, king oyster mushrooms. These are the steak of the mushroom world, with thick, meaty stems that are absolutely delicious. King oysters take 4 to 8 weeks to harvest when growing from scratch. They prefer slightly cooler temperatures, 45 to 65 to grow and receive, making them perfect for basements or cooler rooms. Unlike regular oysters, these grow individually, with thick white stems and small tan caps. The stems are the prized part. They have a texture similar to scallops. For those with outdoor space, wine-cap mushrooms are absolutely incredible. They're sometimes called the garden giant, and they're perfect for permaculture systems. Wine caps take 2 to 6 months to establish, but once they do, they'll fruit for years. They grow directly in garden beds with wood chips or straw. They're incredibly hardy and can tolerate a wide temperature range. Bonus, they actually improve your soil while they grow. And finally, shiitake mushrooms. These are the crown jewel of home mushroom cultivation. They take more patience, but the rewards are incredible. Shiitake can take 6 to 18 months when growing on logs. Growing blocks take 2 to 4 months to colonize before fruiting. They prefer temperatures between 55 to 75 degrees. One log can produce mushrooms for 4 to 6 years. Let's talk about setting up your indoor mushroom growing space. The good news is you don't need a lot of space or expensive equipment. First, choose your location. You want somewhere that's out of direct sunlight. Mushrooms prefer indirect light. A spare closet, basement, or even under your kitchen sink can work perfectly. The key is consistent temperature and humidity. Humidity is crucial. Most mushrooms need 80–90% humidity during fruiting. Here's a simple trick I use. Create a humidity chamber using a clear plastic storage tub. Put your mushroom kit inside, add some damp paper towels around the edges, and mist 2 to 3 times daily. Don't forget about air circulation. Mushrooms need fresh air to develop properly. If you're using a closed container, lift the lid for a few minutes twice daily or drill small holes and cover them with micropore tape. For temperature control, most homes are already perfect for oyster mushrooms. If you're growing king oysters or shiitake, you might need to find a cooler spot. A basement is ideal, or you can use the cool side of your house during summer. Here's my favorite DIY setup for beginners. Take a clear plastic storage tub. Put your mushroom kit inside. Add a small container of water with a sponge for humidity and cover with a clear lid that you'll lift twice daily. Total cost? Under $15. Now, let's dive deep into growing shiitake mushrooms. This is probably the most requested topic I get, and for good reason. Shiitake are absolutely delicious and incredibly healthy. There are 2 main ways to grow shiitake, on logs and on sawdust blocks. I'm going to cover both, starting with the easier block method. For the block method, you'll need shiitake spawn, sterilized sawdust substrate, and growing bags. You can buy pre-made blocks or make your own. I recommend starting with a pre-made block for your first attempt. Set up your humidity chamber, as I showed earlier. Shiitake prefer temperatures between 55 to 75 degrees and 80 to 90% humidity during fruiting. When your block arrives, it should be white with mycelium. If it's not ready to fruit yet, wait until you see brown patches forming. This is the shiitake developing its protective skin. Once you see this, it's time to initiate fruiting. To trigger fruiting, we use a process called shocking. Soak your block in cold water for 12 to 24 hours. This temperature and moisture change tells the mushroom it's time to reproduce. After soaking, cut an X-shaped slit in the plastic bag about 3 to 4 inches long. The mushrooms will emerge from this opening. Remember, shiitake are top fruiters, so position the cut facing upward. Now comes the patience part. It can take 1 to 3 weeks for pins to appear. Keep misting 2 to 3 times daily, maintaining high humidity but ensuring good air circulation. For the traditional log method, you'll need fresh hardwood logs. Oak is the gold standard, but maple, elm, and beech also work great. Avoid softwoods like pine. Your logs should be 3 to 6 inches in diameter and 3 to 4 feet long. Cut your logs in winter when the tree is dormant. Within 2 to 4 weeks, drill holes in a diamond pattern, 4 to 6 inches apart. Use shiitake plug spawn. These are wooden dowels colonized with shiitake mycelium. Hammer the plugs into the holes, then seal each hole with food-grade wax. This prevents contamination and moisture loss. Stack your logs in a shaded area and keep them moist. This is where patience pays off. It takes 6 to 18 months for the mycelium to fully colonize the log. Once established, your logs will produce mushrooms for 4 to 6 years. During dry periods, soak the logs overnight to trigger fruiting. Harvest shiitake when the caps are 75% open, but before they flatten completely. Twist them off gently at the base. Fresh shiitake will keep in the refrigerator for about a week. Let's talk about the most common issues you might encounter and how to solve them. I've made all these mistakes, so you don't have to. If your mushrooms aren't appearing after 3 to 4 weeks, the most common cause is insufficient humidity. Increase your misting frequency and check that your humidity chamber is working properly. If mushrooms start growing inside the plastic bag instead of through your cuts, it means they're not getting enough fresh air. Make larger cuts or add more holes for air circulation. Tall, skinny mushrooms with tiny caps usually indicate too little fresh air and too much CO2. Increase air circulation by opening your growing chamber more frequently. Green or black mold is your enemy. If you see this, isolate the contaminated material immediately. This usually happens due to poor sanitation or too much moisture. Always use clean hands and tools. If mushrooms start developing but then stop, check your humidity levels. They might be drying out. Also, ensure they're getting some indirect light. Complete darkness isn't good for fruiting. Prevention is better than cure. Always maintain proper sanitation. Don't overwater, ensure good air circulation, and keep temperatures in the recommended range for your variety. One growing block or kit can give you multiple harvests, called flushes. After your first harvest, let the block rest for 1 to 2 weeks while maintaining minimal moisture. To trigger a second flush, repeat the shocking process. Soak the block in cold water for 12 to 24 hours. You can usually get 3 to 4 flushes from a single block, though each successive flush will be smaller. While you can grow mushrooms year-round indoors, certain seasons are better for specific varieties. Oyster mushrooms love spring and fall conditions, while shiitake prefer the cooler months for log cultivation. Once you've mastered growing mushrooms, you can easily scale up. Multiple blocks, different varieties, and even selling to local restaurants or farmers markets. I know people making 500 pluses per month from their spare bedroom. Don't throw away your spent mushroom blocks. They make excellent compost or mulch for your garden. The mycelium has broken down all the nutrients, making them perfect for feeding your plants. Timing your harvest is crucial for maximum flavor and nutrition. For shiitake, harvest when caps are 75% open. For oysters, harvest when caps start to flatten out but before they become papery. Fresh mushrooms will keep in your refrigerator for about a week in a paper bag. Never store them in plastic. They need to breathe. For long-term storage, drying is your best option. You can use a food dehydrator or simply slice them thin and air dry. Dried mushrooms actually intensify in flavor and can be stored for months. For the best nutritional benefits, cook your mushrooms. Raw shiitake can cause skin irritation in some people, and cooking helps your body absorb more of the beneficial compounds. My favorite ways to use fresh shiitake: sautéed with garlic and herbs, added to stir-fries, or grilled as a meat substitute. King oyster stems can be sliced and cooked like scallops. Absolutely incredible. Let's quickly recap what we've covered today. We talked about the incredible health benefits of mushrooms, the best varieties for year-round growing, how to set up your indoor growing space, and the complete process for growing shiitake mushrooms. Growing mushrooms might seem intimidating at first, but it's honestly one of the most rewarding forms of food production you can do at home. You're getting fresh, organic, incredibly nutritious food from a tiny space in just weeks. If you're ready to get started, I recommend beginning with an oyster mushroom kit. They're virtually foolproof and will give you confidence to try more challenging varieties. I'd love to see your mushroom growing results. Share photos in the comments below. And if this video helped you, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps the channel reach more aspiring mushroom growers. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. We've got more amazing growing content coming your way, including my upcoming series on building a year-round indoor food forest. Remember, every expert was once a beginner. Start small, be patient, and before you know it, you'll be harvesting your own gourmet mushrooms year-round. Happy growing, green thumbs!